Subscribe to the FocusTalk TV YouTube channel. Follow at FocusTalk TV on Instagram and Twitter, and join in on the conversation on the FocusTalk TV Facebook page. And in the meantime, remember to stay focused. You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station. 89.3 is WKKC. This is Focus Talk, the thought-provoking, solution-oriented talk show daring to make a difference in our communities. We're talking on a regular basis because the answers really matter. What are we talking about? Well, we're talking about politics, religion, personal development, education, history, music, and then from time to time, we are spotlighting positive people who are doing positive things right here in the Inglewood community, throughout the Chicagoland area, as well as the entire continental United States. I'm your host, Dennis Snipe. Joining me in the studio today are singers and songwriters, Mr. Lloyd Halsel and Miss Scarlett Parks. How are you today?
Glad to be here, Dennis.
All right, awesome.
Great.
Lloyd, you and I go back a long way.
That's right.
And you are a singer-songwriter. And you know what? I didn't even know that because we got to know one another through video production.
That's true.
And you sent a jazz song to the station a while ago that was absolutely awesome. I said,
you.
Lloyd, you wrote this? I said, Lloyd, you've been holding out on me. So it is great to have you in the studio with a little change of pace.
Sure.
You've got a Christmas song for us.
That's true.
So tell me a little bit about the Christmas song and how it came to be.
Well, first of all, I want to thank you for allowing me and Scarlett Parks for being here on your show.
You are so very welcome.
Yeah, so very kind. After this, take the rest of the day off.
Okay.
Anyway, about 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks let's say in 2016, about
Okay.
2 weeks before Christmas, Debbie gave me a call and said, Lloyd, I'm not feeling my greatest, but I have a contact, I believe, in Detroit or Michigan or somewhere where a friend of mine is asking me for an original Christmas song. She says, Lloyd, do you have anything? And I said, no, Debbie, I really don't. I don't feel like being bothered with that right now. But she said, Lloyd, you got to do something. So I said, okay, let me see what I can do to make my buddy feel better, Scarlett. So I went down in my archives, and then I started working on some chord changes that I was working on. And I said, okay, let me take my time and see what I can do. So it took me about a couple of days, and we came together, and Debbie and I, from that point on, Scarlett Parks, excuse me. I'm so used to calling her Debbie. Scarlett Parks. And I co-wrote the lyrics and the melody, and I did the music production in my studio.
Okay. And now what's the name of it?
The name of the song is called A Christmas Time.
A Christmas song.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Now, see, I was just about to call you something, Scarlett.
I'm Debbie Scarlett Parks, so either one works.
Okay.
That's good.
Give me a little information about your role in creating the song.
Well, actually, what happened is Lloyd and I have been writing together for a good 20 or 30 years. And we both have independent music careers, but I received a call from a friend asking for a Christmas song. And at the time, Lloyd was busy trying to complete his album project. And he kept saying, I don't have the time right now, I don't have the time, but, I'm just overloaded with trying to get my music correct, ready to come out. So he didn't hear from me maybe for about 2 months, and he called me, and I wasn't in the best of mood. And he said, well, how are you? I said, I'm not feeling good. He said, well, that's not like you. You're always chipper and upbeat. And he says, come on. I had just gotten over the flu. I couldn't work because my voice is
Your instrument. You're
my
right.
instrument.
Exactly.
I wasn't able, so I was really down and out. And I'm like, Lloyd, just leave me alone. He said, well, it's not like you. It's not like you. Come on, snap out of it. Snap out of it. And he says, you know what? What if I write you a tune? I said, you know how to make a sister smile. I got out of bed, and within 3 days, he sent me the track. And I'm like, oh my goodness. Lloyd is a wonderful composer.
Thank you.
He is a wonderful composer. And the cute thing about this, I had to work, he's a taskmaster. I had to work backward. In other words, he gave me the track and he said, now this is what I want. So he sends me a demo and he's saying, Christmas time, da 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 da. He said, now each time I say that, da da da, I need you to insert lyrics in it. I need the correct lyric to fit in the dat and the do's. He said, now I'm not just talking about the dat and the do's, I want the exact melody. So I had never been met with that challenge and I loved it. And when we finished, I mean, it took me about 3 days to get the lyrics to sync with his syncopations and the music and, and that's how it came about. And so that's the story behind A Christmas Time.
Okay, all right. Now, I've got quite a few questions about composing a Christmas song versus an R&B song or a jazz song, but you know what? I'll ask those questions after we listen to the song.
Okay, then.
All right. So, Lloyd, why don't you set it up for me? Introduce the song. We'll take a listen, and then we'll come back with more of our interview.
Okay, this is Lloyd Halsel along with Scarlett Parks, who is my co-writer with the song. This is called A Christmas Time. It's sort of like written in a tradition where we thought that it could have longevity. We've often heard many people say it's not too African American, it's not too white, it's almost crossover. And that was really my intent, so that it could have that longevity. I think it's a great song. It's a family song. It's an uplifting song. And you can almost step and dance to it. And so I think that's very appropriate. And I could not have done this without my friend Scarlett. She's a very good vocalist. I like what she brought to the table in terms of implementing certain ideas and textures that I couldn't. I'm actually a jazz guitarist, but Debbie said, you sing well enough to sing this, so give it a shot, give it your best. And I've had some good results, and I'm glad that I took the opportunity to do it.
Okay. 89.3 WKKC.
Christmas time, a time of year. There's time for laughter and cheer. Come on, let's sing it one. Caroling, a favorite song. A Christmas time means family. We gather all around to decorate the tree. Surprises wrapped with neat little bows go under the tree for you and for me. Yeah. Christmas time, a time of year. It's time for laughter and cheer. Come on, let's sing as one. Caroling, a favorite song.
Lloyd, I like that. A Christmas time. All right, it has a wonderful melody and feeling to it of Christmas.
Yes.
Needless to say, but I think you hit the nail right on the head. Now, right before the song, what goes into creating a Christmas song versus something else?
That's a very good question, and I often thought about that. When I was taking composition at the university where I went, Grambling State University, I always kept in mind that a song has to have some sort of formula, and the three basic principles are to at least have a nice chorus, or what we call a hook, a verse that can be sang easily by most people, and to have a bridge. So that song composes of an A, B, and a C. So with that in mind, it took me a while to think about exactly how do I want to make all these things work so that the average person can sing this song. I'm not really a lyricist, but Scarlett is mostly responsible for bringing the creativity into the lyric because I probably would have had some difficulty with that. My area of expertise is chordal progressions, compositions, and developing melody. So I gave her the creativity of saying, we want this to be a family song where anyone can listen to it comfortably.
Okay. So, Scarlett, now, as far as creating lyrics, can I just say something that rhymes, or do I have to have really meaningful lyrics that touches the heart and soul, or could they be whimsical, or how does that go?
All of the above. There are no rules to it. It's what you feel. It has to emote emotion. And when I write, I look from the perspective of what does the average person want to hear? When people listen to music, they want to feel good. Music is a motivator. It encourages. And people need to hear good things. So when I was writing it, I'm like, of things like sipping on eggnog and sitting by the fireplace and wrapping up gifts. And these are the things that I grew up with, the traditional things that go with Christmas. So I took that approach in writing it, and that is what came of it. And I have to say this, Lloyd, his music is so easy to write to, because when Lloyd approaches a composition, he does it where it's very interesting. You're not going to hear the same repetitive chords. He wants to almost shock you into something different, so that you're like, oh, okay, it's unexpected. So it's very easy to write to whatever he does.
Now, let me play the devil's advocate here just for a moment.
Sure.
And considering that I can say that we're pretty much in the same age group, and wrapping presents and Christmas trees and eggnog and mistletoe, that's all part of the tradition. So now we fast forward a couple of generations, and the young people of today, very few of them have memories of that, or they don't know anything about it. So the music that you're writing, is it fair to say that it will reach them and touch them and they'll be able to understand, or they just may be a tad bit removed because some of the things that we're talking about, they don't know anything about?
I think emotion touches people. It doesn't matter what age you are or what generation you come from. Mm-hmm. I find today children want to hear stories about love. They want to hear about family values. Even if they don't experience it, they still have the imagination. Remember now, there's television. And you have different shows that talk about family values and commitment and so forth. So it will always touch the heart. What touches the heart reaches the heart. And so that's our approach. And his chords are what I call happy chords. They're just happy. They make you happy when you listen to it. It gives you a relaxing feeling. And so that's what is necessary in today's music.
Okay. Can you see your work being positioned right up there with some of our classic Christmas carols like This Christmas, or some of the Christmas carols by Stevie Wonder, where he talks about that men play with bombs like kids play with toys, and I can't call the name of the song right now, but all of those songs.
I would simply hope so. In addition to what Debbie said, I would hope that the lyrics and the message would sort of implement family values, so that in the spirit of songs such as This Christmas by Donny Hathaway, Nat King Cole's Chestnuts Roasting on a White Christmas, that it would continue to accelerate or continue to motivate people to continue and songwriters to write in that fashion, and to keep that family tradition going. Because one of the things that we really need among our African American people is family values, because so much of that is lost.
Scarlett?
Well, actually, I have a friend in California, and he's a marvelous producer, songwriter, composer, and he is called a musician's musician. His name is Larry Ball. In fact, Larry graduated from Kennedy King, and I believe Mr. Abernathy was the music chairperson here. So he went on to do a lot of exploits, but it was really wonderful. He emailed me yesterday, and he said the song was awesome. He said, this is the type of song that may have the longevity of This Christmas by Donny.
And Larry worked for Smokey Robinson for many years.
Yes.
Awesome. Well, I thank you both so very much for coming and sharing your work with us today. We have about 30 seconds left. Give me some closing words, Charlotte. Scarlett, let's start with you.
Peace on earth is what we're about, and our music is peaceful, it's loving, it's kind, and it should be heard.
Lloyd?
I want to encourage all of the youth, our young people, to never give up on their dreams. Look at me, anything is possible at my late age. And to keep the faith. And one thing I want to say is to continue to stay in school and seek higher ground, and to be able to achieve and be a role model for other people in generations to come. I hope that is the message that I send, along with myself and Scarlett Parks.
Okay. Lloyd Halsel, Scarlett Parks, thank you both so very much for your time, for your dedication, for your commitment. Please know that the door here at Focus Talk, so when you have another hit song, Lloyd, please come on through.
Absolutely.
You don't even have to knock, because the door is always open.
I appreciate that very much.
Thank you both so very much.
Thank you
And
for having
I wish
us.
you and yours a safe, happy, and prosperous holiday season.
Thank you.
You're in tune to Chicago's most popular college music radio station, 89.3 WKKC.
You're watching Focus Talk TV
with your host, Dennis Snipe.
Subscribe to the Focus Talk TV YouTube channel. Follow at Focus Talk TV on Instagram and Twitter, and join in on the conversation on the Focus Talk TV Facebook page. And in the meantime, remember to stay focused.